Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Beattie. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the organisers for putting this on, and to Anna for asking me to read. I did have a video with this, but then whoever owns Apple decided what I had to say was too dangerous, clearly, and the audio wouldn't work. So I'm borrowing my friend's microphone. But just imagine me there smiling at you all. I'm going to start with the hospital. I passed the hospital in the trees, bridges through branches, rammed with doctors, with patients. The birds carry medicines to those who can no longer walk. The faces of the sick are oak-bonneted, the uniform of sycamore pinafores, elm suits. They have clipped up the back at least, to stop the beaks of ravens, pigeon savagery. It is past curfew, but nobody will be patrolling in this rain, falling like all the windows came loose from a skyscraper, cascade unending. The patients gather beneath their beds. The guards pretend to see nothing of this guild of doll-makers that meets at midnight, pass around twigs and strands of their own hair to bind them, ribbons weaved out of ivy, and the beak of a dead magpie broken up into buttons for the cardigans stitched out of moss. When you are branded this kind of sick, there is no chance you will sleep again. When the guards come, the patients lie dutifully in their beds, even close their eyes. The soldiers have told them they must do this, that their unceasing, vacant staring unsettled the heartbeat of anyone watching. Recreation is in the hour before sunrise, over ovens and shovels of flour. In the mornings, the young boys from the army won't look them in the eye, won't speak to them as they take loaves on trays to the vans. It's a rite of passage to steal some trinket from a patient, twig wrist tag, nest purses. The cruelest pluck the dolls right out of their hands there in the lounge where the sick sit screaming unheard. The older soldiers will call you a man then. The people outside the bakery in town press best wishes into the roof of the van and count this as a kind of charity. They talk amongst themselves about the way the canal is frowning, the moors shifting. They talk about the war nobody has bothered to announce yet. When the soldiers come past on their morning patrol, the villagers do not smile, but shuffle into alleyways, opening their wallets. The wares snatched from the hospital are considered a special kind of cursed. Burn them, and what remains of the gods of the forests will ring throughout your house, will give all your cutlery and your clothing some kind of charge, ancient and blazing. The stoves in their houses sing lullabies to the charcoal, scorched dolls, twigs bent into the shape of love. This next piece is called Dragging Up, and it takes some inspiration from C.A. Conrad's somatic exercises. Go to the quietest corner of your house. If you live in a cornerless house, wait until everyone else is asleep. If you live alone in your cornerless house, wait until you are asleep. Nobody must watch your first steps. When you are alone, asleep, or cornered, take out your jealousies. Give them a teacup, a saucer. Invite them to sit at your table. Ask them how they got here, but not where they live now. Jealousy goes deeper than bones. You are invariably jealous of fixed eyes. You, that is, you and your jealousies, will learn how to act tonight. You will learn how to be a bonfire, sparks no one can turn away from. Take out your lipstick. Pop the lid on and off 6 times, listening for the click of plastic slipping into place. Take the lid off a final time. Hold it in your hands. Picture the soil. Your fingers are the soil. Your hands, the roots that will try and choke this lid as it sits in that soil for millennia. Look at the scratched branding, the battered list of ingredients. Push the lipstick all the way out. Watch how the stick turns. If you did not watch how the stick turned, go back. Turn the lipstick back down and turn it out again, watching how it twists. Watch it turn also as you slide it back down. If you did not watch it turn on its way back in, go back again. Watch it come in and out. Watch it come back into and out of its cracked plastic casing. Eat the lipstick. Not the plastic bit. I hope I didn't add that too late. If you put the plastic bit into your mouth too, spit it out. If you've already swallowed the plastic, have someone perform the Heimlich maneuver. If you are alone, which you should be, by the way, I stipulated this earlier, perform the Heimlich maneuver on yourself. You should probably thrust your torso against the back of a chair or against a table. If you did not eat the plastic, well done, and chew the lipstick. Let it coat your teeth. Let it lodge between your gums and your upper lips. Thick and cold candle wax. Do not try to talk. Swallow and document its passage throughout your bowels. Now you must learn how to dance. This is vital. I cannot stress its importance enough. Unfortunately, I do not know how to dance, so you will have to teach yourself, or else develop talent independent of someone else's singing. If you are going to teach yourself, please ensure you learn the difference between dancing and flamboyant pointing. You will not dance well the first time. This is why you've waited until everyone is sleeping or elsewhere. You will feel keenly aware of your left hand. You won't know what to do with your eyebrows. Sit with it. Paint yourself in discomfort. It is flammable and makes quite the spectacle up against the night air. This next piece is for my mum, and it's called Mary in the Desert. This is how the dunes hum at night, winds coming round their hands, their hair. Insects rattle like rice on cobbles. Tilt your head back into my arm, the crook of my elbow where my skin pillows. We've come so far, my little one. We've been trekking 20 days now, across these great bodies of tumbling sand. We are far from the town where the soldiers snatched the threat your name posed, straight out of cots and cribs. I will give you anything you need, my precious one, if my eyes will stay open, sleep put off, for a feed, for a minute, oh Lord, for a minute. We'll open up the tent flap, on the honey, the candles. We will lay in wait and pray. This is how the flies crash through, my mouth wide as a census, catching their bodies. This piece is either called Molar Nest or Declivity. I haven't quite decided yet. We live on the upper jaw, open-mouthed alligator, pair of legs halfway through a cartwheel. Our houses are in the worn, discoloured teeth, thorns. We are trying to talk to the owl across the road about nest building, but nobody minds if we are here or not. The house will rot. The flies will crawl over its face. We still collect bones from its tongue because we'll say its fleshy breath is the wind from a factory making cat food. We'll accept gristle clumps in our front garden, gnomes the creatures peck at. We've learned swimming is not a choice here. We will tip our heads back into the water, eyes shut, gills straining the air. When the water jolts with the crackle of fish, we will cling to the bone and brace ourselves. our house burrows deep into gums. And then I think this is my last piece. It's called On Martyrology. To promote pilgrimages and devotion, medieval French monks established the Golden Legend, claiming that Mary Magdalene, Martha, and Lazarus sailed to France after the death of Christ. Here, Lazarus became the first bishop of Marseille, and Mary Magdalene became the first person to survive being caged for 3 decades without food or water, which to me sounds really like a rather unfair distribution of accolades. And she was stripped naked before she was put into the cage. God turned her hair into a river, tides and gravity drawing it around her body to hide her nakedness. Now we kneel at this stack of logs and do not say a word. Simply wait for the music that steps out of agony, out of embers. They don't tell us whose turn it is until the last possible moment. It avoids a prolonged scene. Nothing was helping. He says he doesn't need to wear one because he'll pull out. It seems silly to bother arguing when I am to die tomorrow. I don't strike the bargain because I think a tomorrow after that is salvageable, a life grabbable if I haggle right. I know death is coming tomorrow. I am old enough to know better than to trust a zealot. When he finishes, I make a show of getting to my feet. I am phenomenal in my devotion. I am worth every unspent penny. I will give him his little moment, his sadistic grin, his "oh, you didn't actually think." I will give him what he really came for. But he says nothing, smiles at me, a hurt and sorry smile, and I realize the enormity of his cruelty. He turns and leaves, lock clicking shut behind him. He has no good time for games, he has told me with that smile. I will not be humoured. My vanities are not, after all, his playthings. He knows and does not care about my delusions, about the ramshackle stage I am trying to drag our bodies across. He is enormous. So is my sobbing. So is my sobbing. There is, as far as I can tell, no semantic link between mother, from the Latin mater, and martyr, from the ancient Greek. There is a link between mater and matrimony, marriage. That is, the institution of marriage is the institution of mother-making. The teaching of Latin is banned in schools. I tell it to my children in secret. Some days, I sing tantum ergo in the faces of the guards and fashion rosary beads out of worms and crumbs from the ground because I am tired of the prelude to my hagiography. The time of martyrology is chipped and jagged in the palm of your hand. Do not ask me to sit with these gashes sunk into my skin. I bite holes in the white smock I was given on arrival here. Carefully coordinated punch marks to achieve the look of lacework. I turn my hair, white and falling out by the gallon, around my finger 9 times. I hold it up to the guards' faces and tell them to kiss the ring the Monseigneur has blessed. But these are the children who will birth the children who will ban laughter and crying in the streets and who will drag through the town anyone caught having an orgasm. So I waste my time attempting to provoke them, attempting to play with them. The uncountable kinds of days since we were brought here first. On the other side of the pyre, the crowd is cannibalistic. They do not appreciate this slow expunging of heresy. Every day the chanting is the same, for more. More pyres, more liars tied to them, more unbearable singing at the border between life and others, more enormity, more candlesticks melted for plates, more sanctions for unthinkable theology that unchecked would creep through the town like damp or a plague. They do not seem to grasp that we, dragged here to kneel, also seek the reckoning. They only scream, accusing us of bribing guards, blackmailing guards, seducing guards, hexing guards, poisoning guards, anointing guards into our unholy intimacies through the backwards birth in goat's blood. We are always somehow in charge, even before the pyre that will one day eat our voices. Thank you very much. I hope everybody has a wonderful Covidarity festival. Thanks again for having me, and love and solidarity to you all.